What is up, my friends and fellow fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender? Today's video might look a little bit different because I thought it would be a fun idea to make sort of a vlog style video discussing my passion for Avatar: The Last Airbender, giving you guys kind of an inside look as to why I'm so obsessed with it. Because I know we've kind of built up this community here on the channel, and I know that a lot of you are just as obsessed with this show as I am. I love making these videos, and every time I look at the comment section after I make one, it makes me so happy because I see the awesome reactions that you guys have. I love the takes that you guys have. And so by telling my story, I do have kind of an interesting history with this show. By telling my story, maybe you guys will leave your story down in the comments, you know, when you started watching it, why it's one of your favorite shows, and what you think about it. I love to see that from you. I love this community, again, that we've built up here on the channel. And so basically, I kind of just want to go way back, not dating myself too much. But this show, it really did come out at the perfect age for me, but I missed it. Like, I did not pay attention to Avatar when it was actually airing on Nickelodeon. I was in middle school, I think, when the first season came out. I think I was in 8th grade when the first season came out. And then as I went through high school, I had different interests. I was very much into, like, live action movies. I really wasn't a big animation person. I'm not saying that I thought it was lame or anything, but just besides, like, your everyday kind of cartoons that might have been on, like, I think I watched Nick Jr. when I was a kid, but I just didn't watch too many cartoons when I was in high school. And I think if I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender, like if I saw a commercial for it after school or something like that, I probably was like, nah, I don't need to watch cartoons. I'm more obsessed with the prequel trilogy right now, Star Wars or something like that. And then as I got into my later years in high school, I got into more mature movies like Blow and Fear and Loathing Las Vegas and The Lords of Dogtown. I went through this very artsy phase. I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter. I was on American Idol when I was a senior in high school, and my story with Avatar actually takes place right before that. So it was the summer going into my senior year of high school, and my brother and I, funny enough, it's like my brother and I found the new Avatar. No, my brother and I, we found this show, Avatar: The Last Airbender, that some people had talked to, but I didn't really have a big group of friends that was like all in on Avatar: The Last Airbender. We just thought it would be a fun idea to binge this thing together in the summertime. And so every night after he would get off work or I would get off work, we would get home and we would watch a couple episodes. And as we went and as we got deeper into this show after book 1, we were like, oh, wow, this show is really, really good. What have we been missing this entire time? Then we watched freaking book 2, and we got to the crossroads of destiny, and I feel like that was that epiphany moment for me. That's why I'm so excited for season 2 of the live action, and I talk about it a lot, but the crossroads of destiny, the final episode of season 2, it blew my mind, and it very much felt like some of the live action projects that I grew up with. Empire Strikes Back is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that season, it felt like Empire Strikes Back. It resonated deeply with me. And then we watched, obviously, book 3. And the way that this trilogy, these 3 seasons, the way that it rounds out, you just don't find that sort of perfect storytelling anywhere. It had everything that I wanted out of a story. It had an amazing protagonist, an amazing antagonist, some really fun characters to laugh at. And I also feel like at that point in my life, as I went through high school, I don't know, I put this weird pressure on myself to try to be maybe more mature than I was. I constantly wanted to seem cooler than maybe I was, so I was always talking about like the live action films that I'd watching war films, Saving Private Ryan and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like at that time, going through middle school and into high school, I was neglecting a part of myself that maybe others were experiencing at that time and at that age. And so as I got towards 17, 18, this animated show hit me like a truck. And you might see me here on the channel still to this day covering a lot of animation, because animation in general, even if it's like Attack on Titan, something super mature, or if it's Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's always going to have sort of a childlike quality, at least to me, because I grew up here in the States. It was all about Saturday morning cartoons, you know what I mean? Like, I watch a lot of animated shows because of the childlike nature that they have, and it brings me so much joy and happiness. It's so light and positive and happy most of the time. Some of these other animated shows are like batshit crazy, and that is what it is, and I love watching those ones as well. But something about Avatar resonated with me on a really deep level. As I went into my senior year, I was on American Idol, and basically Aang's story throughout that, comparing that to my journey with this, like Aang's story proved that he could save the world, and to me, I felt like at that time I could do anything. And then I went to American Idol, and I ended up getting cut in Hollywood, and I went home, and that completely crushed like my mental health. I was screwed up because I thought I was going to go to Hollywood and I was going to win American Idol, and I was going to be this massive, huge star. But this is like I'm talking as if the show has a mentality of its own or a mind of its own, but it feels like this is exactly where the show wanted me to be. And this show has become like therapy for me, because as I moved on with my life, I moved to Los Angeles and I went to pursue a career in singing and songwriting. And after some time, I eventually could afford my own place. Like for a while there, I was sleeping on futons, and then I got to rent out a bedroom in a house, and then I ended up getting my own little place sharing with a buddy of mine in South Central Los Angeles. Now, I didn't really know anything about that area. I was very uncultured. I was coming from Montana, and the area was definitely different than I had ever been, but I embraced it and I enjoyed the hell out of it because it was new and it was different, and I kind of thrive off of those new experiences. But with this being like my own apartment or my own place, like I couldn't afford internet. I didn't even know how to set up internet, man. Like I was out there on my own. All I had was a car and something. I had a beach chair that I would sit in the middle of my bedroom. I had a futon that I was sleeping on in there. That was my bed. For a while, it was just an inflatable mattress. But I had this beach chair, and then I had a little table, and then I had this tiny little TV, probably an 18-inch screen. And all that I had to watch was 3 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender and Grandma's Boy, a copy of Grandma's Boy that I think we stole from Blockbuster. And when I say book 2 and book 3 had a lot to do with why I love this show so much, this is that season 2 moment for me and in my life. Like, I had experienced some failure. I had no idea the failures that were about to come, like knocking on the door. I ended up doing the voice. Nobody turned around for me as I sang on the stage, and so that hurt my mental health again. That kind of hurt my ego, but I had to be broken down, just like Aang was, to kind of rebuild myself back up like he does in season 3. And I would watch all 3 seasons of Avatar: The Last Airbender over and over and over and over, because it's a really important story to me. It's a story of overcoming adversity, overcoming any sort of struggle, and proving to yourself that you can do it, proving to yourself that you can overcome any obstacle, and that in Aang's case, you can save the world. In my case, that you can just be a person in the world that finds some sort of success. And as I went through several different things and I got older, obviously I ended up getting internet, and I got a little bit older and I got my own place, and I ended up moving, and I ended up meeting my wife, and so many things have happened in that interim period. But I tried to make it a point always to watch all 3 seasons every year. But here I am now, and I've made this YouTube channel, and I talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender. I've created an outlet for myself to talk about the thing that one of the things that I love the most in this world, and seeing the way that you guys react to it, I can't really explain. Words can't explain how much that type of thing means to me, because TV shows, I have all 4 elements tattooed on my arm. Like, I love this damn show so much, and I think people neglect to talk about and share how deeply these stories resonate with us, and how a simple story like this can change somebody's life. You know, it's like you see at a Comic-Con, there's an actor and somebody comes up and he's like, "You changed my life," and maybe the actor is sitting on the other side of it like, "Oh, wow, that's kind of cool," but like, you don't quite know what's going on with an individual, what they might have gone through, and what that story truly meant to them. Like, Avatar: The Last Airbender has been with me every step of the way, and it has provided the building blocks of my life. And I know this is just a cartoon, and now I'm a 33-year-old guy. I'm sitting here and I'm living my life and I'm talking about it still, but people can't take that away from you. And even if I end up as a 70-year-old guy that's still talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's because it's impacted my life. You might see that I don't talk about Korra too often on the channel, although I've seen it plenty of times. It's just Avatar was that thing as I was coming up. And when I was all by myself and I didn't know anybody and I was in this huge city and I wasn't going to college or anything like all of my peers because I didn't have all that. I had to support myself by working at a Coffee Bean or getting a job at some random restaurant and then having a new job the next, or some clothing store that I worked at, the Penguin. Like, I had so many different jobs just trying to stay afloat, just trying to pursue my passion of singing and songwriting, which I'm still doing, by the way. Check out my music on SoundCloud. But when I would get home and when I would get back to my safe place, all that I would want to turn on is Avatar: The Last Airbender and hear the story one more time and watch characters like Azula and Zuko and Sokka and Katara and freaking Momo and Appa. It's a beautiful story, and it's why we love art. You know what I mean? Like, battling addiction, you can depend on art. Going through a breakup, you can depend on art. Like, I can turn on Speed Racer anytime and be so freaking happy no matter how my day was. If Attack on Titan or Hunter x Hunter or the Terrifier franchise is your happy place, don't ever let anybody tell you that it's too childish or you're too old for that or whatever it is, because you are you. You have your life. You've had the circumstances of your life laid out for you. You don't have control of that. You've gone through those circumstances, and the things that have presented themselves to you along the way have affected you. They have had an impact on you, whether you want to accept that or not. Me, I've just chosen to accept that and wear an Avatar: The Last Airbender hat out, and I'm just like a 30-year-old guy walking around like, hey, what's up? I love Avatar, you know what I mean? Because it's awesome, dude. Aang's story is awesome. But I do want to hear your guys' thoughts about all of this. I know this was kind of a different style of video. I just wanted to tell my story a little bit if you guys wanted to get to know me a little bit, because this is an awesome community, and as we head towards all the new Avatar projects that are coming out, including the live-action adaptations coming to Netflix, like, I want you guys to watch my reactions and watch my channel and watch my updates, knowing that I am really passionate about this thing, and I'm not just like a cheapskate trying to get views here on YouTube like, oh man, Avatar: The Last Airbender is so cool. Like, this shit means a lot to me, man. Like, it's one of my favorite shows in the world, and so if you hear it from me, you're hearing it from a very passionate source. But I guess let me know if you guys like this and what you thought about my story. I also would love to hear your story again. Leave it down in the comments. Let me know why you love ATLA or anything else, any other art form, any other piece of entertainment, whether it's could be music, could be anything. I'd love to hear from you guys, because again, this is a community that I'm trying to build here on Jones Vibes. Jones Vibes is another one of those pieces of me now that I put a lot into this channel, and I love talking to y'all. So besides that, do me a favor, hit the like button before heading out, hit subscribe if you're new here, but more than anything, keep up the good vibes. Yep.